channel. This is, I don't think I'm in focus. Okay. This is the first time that I've been back since May of 2021, I think. I just got like really caught up in school, caught up in life. But I'm back. I am committed to this YouTube channel. So today I'm gonna be doing an eyeshadow tutorial. I was like asking my friends what they wanted to see from this channel, and one of them requested like eyeliner slash eyeshadow tutorials. So I think I'm gonna turn it into a series, and today is just gonna be like really simple eyeshadow, like what to do if you're not really good at eyeshadow or if you're like just getting into it. This is like a super easy, basically like foolproof way to do it and for it to look good. So yeah, I'm super excited. Like the video, subscribe, and if you would like to, let me know in the comments what future videos you would like to see. And yeah. So the next step would usually be use a concealer as an eye primer to set my eyes so that I can put on the eyeshadow. Because if you have darker skin and you don't prime your eyes before you put on eyeshadow, the color may not show up as brightly as you want it to, compared if you put on a primer. So a primer basically acts as like a canvas primer, I guess, and like just make sure that the colors show up more brightly. I'm doing the makeup for one of my friend's films, so I left the concealer that I use. I'm not in focus. Okay, there we go. I left the concealer that I use on set, so we're gonna have to improvise. So I have this Makeup Revolution banana powder that I feel like I can finesse this and use it as a primer. Since the skin on my eyes is still kind of like tacky from the moisturizer that I use, and I will also just like take a little bit of the primer, and I'll kind of like use this to prime my eyes, and then like use the powder to like stick it on there, and hopefully that'll work. I feel like it will. Yeah, so I'm just spreading it, etc, etc. I feel like I haven't, well, obviously it's been like over a year since I've been on YouTube, but I was like looking at like my old videos, and I remember like just having so much fun like editing and just like doing the process, and I really miss it. So I'm like really excited to like get back into it and kind of like expand the kind of content that I was doing. And, like do more vlogs, do more beauty related content. But yeah, a lot of time has passed. In that video I was in my first year of college. Now I'm in my third. I'm almost done, which is crazy. A lot has changed, like even just in my college journey. My first year I thought I was gonna do like a lot of things. My major changed like several times, even in my first semester. So yeah, just to check in on what I'm doing, you can see that it's kind of like lightened my eye up a little bit. Well, not my eye, but my eyelid, so that the colors will go on a little bit more brightly. Imagine it has a better effect when you're actually using an eye primer. But for now, like this will do. So yeah, I'm just spreading the powder, and then I'll do the same thing on the other eye. But yeah, as I was saying, my first year, I went in thinking I was gonna be a creative writing law and society double major, and then I took history of the Holocaust, and it was a really interesting class. I had a really great professor, who also taught other classes in the Jewish studies department, and so I was like, oh, I'll do like Jewish studies, and I took another class in the Jewish studies department, and unfortunately didn't have as great an experience as I did with the first professor. So I decided not to, and in that same semester I also took a sociology class and loved the class. I think it was sociology of like public problems or like social issues, and that was a really wonderful class. So after my first year I was like, okay, I will be a sociology and law and society double major. The issue with that is that at my school, law and society is not a department like this, like other disciplines. Law and society is technically a department made up of classes from other departments. So, like, law and society classes are made up of politics classes that are accounted as law and society, like sociology classes, Africana studies classes, econ classes. So there's really only like 2 classes that are actually, like they say on their law and society. So it was like a little bit difficult to choose which classes I would take as like part of my law and society major. And then I like also changed my post college like career decisions. I went in wanting to go to law school and like be a lawyer. I either wanted to be a family lawyer, or I wanted to be like a criminal lawyer, be a prosecutor. And that has slightly shifted because my main goal for getting into law was to help people. But I took a sociology of the law class that like made me question lawyers' ability to make like change within the system. Because as no surprise to anyone, the United States justice system is very flawed. And while lawyers absolutely do, like they can and they do like change issues within the system, I just didn't think it was the most efficient way for me to do the change that I wanted to. So I was kind of like, okay, so what's my plan now? Like, what am I gonna do after school? And I decided to look into social work, because one of my friends, she is a social work major, and she was talking to me about it, and I was like, that sounds like along the vein of like public policy that I want to do, slash like making changes in systems that are broken, but not in the kind of impersonal way that I feel that law does it. So I was like, okay, let's look at social work. I'll stop right there and then I'll get into the eyeshadow and then we continue the story. So I'm gonna get into the eyeshadow part of this. I have no idea what colors I really want to use. Let me look at my palettes for a second. I was initially thinking pink, because pink is my favorite color. So basically the way that, the eyeshadow method that I use works is that you take 3 colors basically. So if you're doing like pink, let's say you have a light pink, a medium pink, and then a dark pink. And what you do is you put the medium pink in your crease, like all along here, and then you take the lighter shade of pink above that color and then you blend it together. And then you take the darkest pink, you put it in your crease, and then you blend that out so that it's kind of like a gradient or ombre effect, and it looks put together. And then typically you do like a shimmer in like your, what's it called? Like the inner half of your eye, and it's pretty simple. I'm gonna take my Juvia's Place Sweet Pinks palette. If you ever need affordable, great quality, wonderful eyeshadow palettes and to support a black business, Juvia's Place has it. I've never had a palette from them that I didn't like. Love all of their palettes. You get 6 in this one, and they have like a couple of different eyeshadow colors. This one is Sweet Pinks. They have mauves, taupes, chocolates, berries. I have their other palette right here that I used in a video like literally 2 years ago when I was still in high school. It's this one. It's the Masquerade palette. Love their palettes. So as you can see, this palette comes with like 3 matte shades and then 3 shimmers. And so this palette kind of has like the formula that I was talking about. So it has the lightest pink shade, the darkest, and then medium. And I'll be using this one, and then I also have the BH Cosmetics Take Me to Brazil palette. Don't love this palette, like the colors are kind of patchy, but it gets the job done if you like work it hard enough. But you really do have to put in like some elbow grease to get it to work. But those are the two palettes that I will be using. So the first thing I like to do is like pack the color in there, and then I go in and blend it out. So I'm gonna take my e.l.f. eye crease brush. This is, oh, I feel so like beauty vloggery, you know, like Jackie Aina, like Bethany Moda. They do this like all the time. This is what it looks like. It's kind of a dense brush, which is good for like picking up the color and putting it like in the crease. So I'm going to take, okay, I'm gonna take this color right here, and I'm also going to take this shade from the Sweet Pinks palette. I'm gonna mix those together. So I kind of just pick it up. This is what it looks like from the Sweet Pinks palette. Go to the Take Me Back to Brazil one, pick it up. This is what it looks like. Tap some of it off because that is a lot of powder on there. And then I like start, close my eye and show you, I start like right there. And that is where I put in the color. And I kind of just like start to pat it in. I don't know if you can really see it, but that's what it should start to look like. And then obviously if I actually had my brighter concealer or an actual primer, it would show up a little bit more vividly. And then tap it on. But yeah, as I was saying, I decided that I was gonna do social work. I didn't really know like what kind, because at the time I didn't know that social work was literally such a broad field. Like social work is a huge field, and I feel like people underestimate what social workers can do and like how many avenues in the field there are, but it's quite wide. So there was a person who came and talked to us, and he was from a nearby school, Case Western, and he came to give like a seminar basically on what the School of Social Work looks like, what classes look like what you can do with your social work license from there, and it really piqued my interest. So I started looking into what kinds of social work that I would like to do, and I came up with about a list of like 5, and my top 3 was grant writing, substance abuse, and like community, kind of like community advocate / like community resource. And I really started like looking into substance abuse more, because that is an ever-growing problem, and it's something that like I personally have seen, and I think it's something that like people try to write off as like, oh, this person's just an addict, but it's really like more than that. People don't just do drugs a couple times and like become addicts. And I think there's just a lack of empathy and a lack of like people trying to understand how that happens, until it happens to someone that they know, or it happens to you. Like people really struggle to like be kind and really care about it. So that's where I'm at right now. In terms of like career plans, I am like 96% sure that it is going to be social work, and that I'm probably going to go into substance abuse. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just doing the same on the left side. I'm packing it in, and then I'm kind of just like brushing it out a little bit. So once I've done that, I'll go in and I will take a looser brush. Let's see which one I want to use. I'll go with this one. This is a Wet n Wild brush. I don't know like what the name is, but it's pretty fluffy, and I'm just gonna use this to blend out the shadow. And I use kind of like a light hand, because while I want to diffuse it, I don't really want all the pigment to go away. So I hold it like at the end of the brush, and I'm just blending it upwards. And also this past summer, I got into research. We have a undergraduate department here for research. So I applied and it was wonderful. Like I really, surprisingly, really like doing research. Yeah, so this is where the eyeshadow is at right now. I like how like blended out it looks. If you can see like the patch, that is literally the Take Me to Brazil palette. It's so patchy, like it clings to really strange spots on my eye. But I'm not worried about that because I can like blend it out, and also this is like near the place where we'll be putting the darker pink shade, so I'm not worried about it. It'll work out. So yeah, this is where your eyeshadow should be at this point. So now I'm gonna take the same brush that I've been blending with, and I'm gonna just kind of blend a little bit more upwards. And then since I don't have like that many eyeshadow brushes, I have this, I have no idea what it's called, but like you can put your brush on it and then like takes off some of the pigment so that you can like reuse the brush. So I use this to get some of the pigment off. But once I've done that, go back into the palette, and I'm gonna take this shade right here and like these two, and then I'm also going to take this shade. I don't know if I pointed to the wrong shade before, but I used this shade for the crease, not this one. This one is the lighter one. So now I'm actually going to take this one and I'm going to sweep it like right above this pink that I've put in the crease, and just really softly like pat it on there. And it's better to like build up very slowly than to put it all on there and realize that you messed up, because it's easier to like just put stuff on than to have to work backwards and like take it all off. So don't want to pick up a lot, just pick up enough. This summer I did research. I was looking at the history of the hypersexualization of Black women, specifically within the United States, and doing research was wonderful, because obviously as a Black woman that's something that pertains to me, but one of the like surprising things that I found was how much of a mental toll doing that kind of research was like taking on me, because I was like reading books, reading articles, like watching films of Black women like literally being dehumanized, and I was like, oh wow, like this is how people see me, like just off the bat before people even get to know me, this is how people are looking at me. And it kind of changed not how I functioned, but just like whenever I would be out, I would like notice people looking at me more depending on like what I'm wearing, and it was just very interesting, because it's not something that my attention had been drawn to before, until I had done the research. And I'm gonna be turning that research basically into my senior thesis. I don't know if I can use it for both sociology and Africana studies, but technically my research falls into both disciplines. So we'll see wherever that leads up, but I'm definitely planning on continuing to pursue that research. Like I don't want to just leave it in undergrad. I'm gonna like take that with me. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. So okay, I keep forgetting to look in the lens and I keep looking at the screen, my bad. So this is what it looks like so far. I think I'm gonna take another blending brush. This is another Wet n Wild one. Again, don't know the name, but I'm gonna take this and kind of like blend these two colors together. College has been interesting. College has not been what I expected it to be. Literally from the beginning, like I was not expecting a pandemic to change the entire landscape of my college experience. I've met really great people, and I can say that I like college. But I work on campus as a Title IX consent trainer. In case you all don't know, colleges are required under Title IX to do some sort of consent training. Like most schools do it in like video form, where all new or transfer students have to like watch a video on consent, what the Title IX law basically means, what a Title IX process means, etc., etc. Okay, so this is what it looks like blended. I like what it looks like so far. I'm gonna go ahead and add like the darker pink and the darker colors, and then I'll see what needs to be fixed and we'll go from there. I'm gonna take this color right here, and I'm also gonna take probably a mixture of Zulu and Ada from, excuse me, the Masquerade palette, and like mix those together. So yeah, like working that in there, and then I like to kind of bring it in to like the rest of my eyelid and like blend it out so that it's not just all staying in that one spot. And then, okay, let me show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. So you see how it goes from like light pink to like medium pink. So that's basically the formula that I follow. As I was saying, it's been really rewarding work. So at Oberlin, instead of doing like online classes, we do workshops. So first years and new students are required to take 2 workshops. So there's consent essentials that we do in the fall, and then in the spring we do bystander essentials. And so consent is just to really like get everyone on the same page of like what consent looks like, period, and also what consent looks like on like a college landscape, how to not cause harm, how to interact with like the Title IX office, etc., etc. And then the bystander workshop, as you know, the name implies, it's basically how to be a good bystander, not to just idly watch by as like something is happening, but to like really empower yourself. It's very rewarding work. Sometimes it's like a little bit mentally exhausting, just because like you're dealing with kind of heavy stuff, and then sometimes like people, you know, like trust us because we're trainers or whatever, and so sometimes people get really comfortable telling you personal things, which is a lot. But like at the end of the day, I really do enjoy the work, and I'm glad that it's like a privilege that I have. Okay, I don't know the last thing that I said because I ran out of recording time. My camera only records up to 30 minutes. I think maybe I was talking about my job as a Title IX trainer, but yeah, it's very rewarding. I'm very happy that I have the chance to do it. But that has been college. And I was just saying, if you guys would like a video like on college specifics, I don't think a lot of people are like watching this video right now, but if you are and you would like anything specific, let me know. I think this coming semester I'm gonna do a lot more vlogging, just being a little bit more interactive, because I really do like YouTube. The thing that gets me is just editing. Like editing can take so long. I think this is the ColourPop Midnight Masquerade palette. This is literally such a cute palette. I don't know if you guys like keep up with makeup brands, but they had a couple of years ago like a whole like Disney collection, and so they have like a bunch of Disney characters on here. It's just a very cute palette. But I'm gonna go into the shade right here, and this one. So this one is called Damsel, and this one is Nutmeg. I'm going to let me pick both of those up. Kind of use that to soften up the color on the top. Oh, me and my friend Osa, we also taught a makeup class this semester. our school has these things called Expos, where it's basically like student-led, student-taught classes, basically about anything. So we taught one about makeup. It was, I almost dropped this mirror, but I caught it. Yeah, that was very exciting. Because I want it a little bit darker, I'm going to take just a little bitty bit of black, and use it in like this part of my eye right there. Which is why I put down some of like the brown and the darker pink first, because like once you put on black, it changes the whole landscape, and I don't want to do too much. But yeah, so I'm putting that in the outer corner. You can kind of see it right there. I'm just gonna pat it in, and then I'm gonna take this one wild brush and blend that out. Work it through. So yeah, you can see how it kind of creates this like shadow that isn't too much, but it goes in like really well to like show like a color gradient basically. It just gives depth. That's the word I was looking for. It gives depth to your makeup. Also, I realized this camera, like the time is 30 minutes, so that means that this video is already like super long, and I didn't want to do that because I have a tendency to talk for a really long time. So I'm gonna try to speed the rest of this up. Sada, I hope not to call you out. Hey bestie. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if it's not. Okay. So now that I'm done basically with like the eyes mixing, or at least the like outer part, I'm gonna go into my favorite part, which is adding the shimmer. Pick that color up, and I am going to put it in like this middle part of my eye, basically, that doesn't have any pigment on it. And I'm going super lightly because I want to be able to like mix colors. And I'm gonna take a clean brush. This is an actual blending brush. This is the e.l.f. blending eye brush. And I'm gonna go and just diffuse and disperse the color. So yeah, you see how it's been moved. It's glowy. It's kind of like a rose gold, which fits the vibe that I was going for. This is what it's gonna look like. I usually like to take a little bit more and like kind of bring it into my outer crease, because sometimes I feel like it looks weird if it just ends like right there on my face. So I just bring it out a little bit more, and then same deal, just blend it out. And then if you decide that you don't want it to look like that, just go in with the other brush and kind of just cover over it. Okay, now I'm in focus again. I did the other eye, and I think I'm gonna add just like one last shimmer on top. I'll do this one first. Also, these colors and the colors on my eye as well are showing up slightly differently than they look in person. Like this is a much softer pink than is showing up on the camera. But yeah, I'm gonna take this and just like lightly brush it over the rose gold that we have on before. Yeah, that looks good. A tiny bit of this other pink color. There we go. Okay, yeah, that is, oh, okay, Sada just texted me. You can be in this video while you're watching this video. Yeah, I'm excited. That is basically the end of like the actual eyeshadow part. I'm gonna go do my face and lashes, and then I'll come back at the end, show you what the whole face looks like. Okay, so I'm back with the full face. Added the rest of my face, obviously, the lips, the lashes. I love big dramatic lashes. I get, I want to say like 90% of my lashes from AMH Lashes. They make the best lashes. They're so beautiful, and they're only like $6. So if you need lashes, I would totally recommend them. They also have like smaller ones, so if you don't want like these really big dramatic ones, you don't have to get that. But yeah, this is what the eyeshadow turned out like. This is what the rest of the face turns out like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what other kinds of content you want to see from me. Like I said, I'm gonna make the like eye related tutorials kind of into a series. So the next one I do will either be a cut crease or an eyeliner tutorial. And then if there's any like parts of the face or like makeup routine other than eyes that you really want me to focus on, please let me know as well. So thank you guys. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.